Hello everyone, today I'll be doing my final exam for speech and I'll be going over white privilege and racism. And to start off, I did go over the Macintosh piece, and to be honest with you, I found out that there's really nothing about it. It's just pandering and stuff that seems so benign and simple, and that doesn't really, she just looks too much into it. And all these ones of like, she gives you situation after situation where it just seems so simple, so like, it's just normal stuff that you go through every day, and then she just inserts race into it for no reason. And I don't like that. I don't like people that just insert race into everything. She's like trying to force this ideology to happen where it's just not really there. And as for the Mr. M's, Professor M's arguments, I do agree with them mostly. As for his first argument, where it's the systemic and all that, I don't fully agree with that. Unfortunately, it's just that there is, I do believe that there's some systemic stuff, and it's been pointed out recently in police brutality and all that. But a lot of it can be pointed down to like facts and what the individual, like to individual cases. They're not really, some of them are race related, some of them are not. It's really a gray area for that systematic racism stuff. But I do agree with you that there isn't like a specific movement that's pointing out the bigger systemic racism. Like there isn't laws out there that are actively discriminating against a specific race or a religion or anything. I do also agree with you that racism can be just a mood. I don't think it's going anywhere, if I'm honest with you. It's always going to be there. People say these things that, oh, let's get rid of racism, let's just end racism. And I believe that they say that just to fit in with the group and to be liked. Most of those people that go on and argue online over systemic racism and stuff that is on college campus, stuff that seems so simple and so small in the real world when you take a step back and look at it. Or just it's just people looking at it and overreacting. And most of that situation also happens on social media, where people have this large amount of just wanting to be liked, wanting to be accepted by a lot of people, wanting to have a large amount of followers. So they say these things just to get people to agree with them. Like these simple, racism is bad. Well, yeah, thank you for letting us know that. Racism is bad, and then they just get followers like that. I don't believe that their message is genuine, really, or that they'll point out anything or do anything about it. As for your last point regarding correlation, I strongly believe in what you're saying and agree with what you're saying. Often people say police has killed this guy because he is black, and they don't look at the situation, the whole context of it, and they just point out that, hey, you're racist if you point out the context. Where it's like, hey, this guy had a warrant out for his arrest, he killed a mother and her child, and the officer went in open-minded, he didn't correspond, lethal force had to be used. And people just belittle it and go, why didn't the officer use a taser? It's situations like that are high-pressure situations where you have to snap into judgments immediately. It's either that or you lose your life. So that's what I mean by I agree with you on that. The correlation. I don't believe that cops kill this guy because he is black. Well, in some situations that is the case, and that's where systemic racism is the case, where you can point out at a county and go, there has been an over amount of abuse of power from this specific county regarding a specific race or a religion or some sort of discrimination against it. But most of the cases, it depends. It's a very gray area. There's always some reason for that cop's actions and some response to it. As I said, my main opinion is I don't believe that we're going to get rid of racism. It's not a thing that you get rid of. It's going to be here with humanity for the rest of history until we get replaced with robots or get chips implanted where it just immediately zaps that thought out of our brains. But stuff like discrimination, you could fix that. You could implement laws that are just neutral, and you just follow that system, follow those steps one by one to validating a case or figuring something out where it's outside of race, it's outside of human bias and all that.